Today I will tell you something about experiment on developing social skills among preschoolers, and I am presenting in behalf of myself and my supervisor, Professor Szumski. At first, why we start the topic about social skills and its effectiveness? There are two main reasons. First is that we know that it is very important to use methods which are effective and about which we know that they are effective while we are working with children. And the second thing is that in Poland, despite the fact that we know that developing social skills is very important, we don't have many programs which develop social skills, especially we don't have many programs which can be implemented in inclusion environment. So that is why we try to adapt Playtime Social Time program in Polish preschools. And the experiment was conducted this year in Warsaw, in Poland. But at first, I will tell you something about the program. The program is for children aged 3 to 5, and of course it is for all children in all settings, and especially it is targeted to children with disabilities, but also for children without disabilities, it is also good. Main aims of the program are, first of all, developing social skills, then teaching proper interactions with peers. So we are teaching children with disabilities to interact with children without disabilities, and we try to increase social competence among children. The methods which are used in this program are, first, we try to teach proper behaviors via imitating behaviors of children without disabilities. So we try to show children with disabilities how to play with children without disabilities. Then we are modifying environment by designing special places for playing for children, and we try to focus on children with disabilities. So we use structured play in pairs. So we are making pairs which consist of child with and without disabilities, so children can play together. We also encourage children to play together, and we use positive reinforcements to make the behavior better. And also we assess interactions between children, at first by using verbal and then non-verbal reinforcements. We know some benefits of the program because we earlier conducted another experiment with this program. So we know that the program is effective while we are trying to teach children in natural environment. Then by using this program, we widen the repertoire of children's plays. Then we know that the program increased frequency of social interactions between children, and we know that the program is also effective for increasing prosocial behaviors among children, and the program is really easy to implement. We don't need many materials to conduct this program. How we assessed the effectiveness of the program? First of all, we used two different questionnaires of social skills. The first questionnaire is Teacher's Impression Scale. It is rather a short questionnaire And the other one is a little bit longer, but two of them has very good readability. And the teacher is assessed every child on those scales. And we did this assessment 3 times during the experiment. Then we also tried to assess so-called theory of mind. It is an ability to understand other people's minds. So we also did 7 different tasks with children to see if their understanding of other people's minds changes in time. And other thing, we try to compare experimental group with control group. So our sample, as I said, it consisted of children in preschool age. In experiment, we had 10 preschools in Warsaw, in Poland, and we had 10 experimental groups and 10 control groups. We had 249 children with and without disability. And almost half of them were children from experimental group, and the other half was control group. In this sample, almost 1/4 were children with disabilities, and almost half of them were in control group and half of them in experimental group. And there were children with different disabilities: intellectual disabilities, autism spectrum disorder, sensory impairments, and physical disability as well. And here you can see the results of our measures. Here we have a first questionnaire, teacher's impression scale. What you can see is that children's abilities, social abilities, grow in time, also in experimental and in control group, but in experimental group the change is much bigger than in control group. And the results only for children with disabilities are, well, quite the same. It means that in both groups the abilities changes positively, but in the experimental group the change is much bigger. For the second questionnaire, the results are similar. The difference is that in this questionnaire we asked if different situations the child has problems. So it means when the child got lower mark, it means that its behavior is better. So when there is a drop in the results, it means that there is a positive change in behavior. So the direction of changes are the same. It means that in both groups the changes are positive, but the changes are better in experimental group, and the results for children with disabilities the same direction. So in experimental group we see better and more positive changes in time. And for theory of mind, it's quite similar. So it means that both groups at the end have better results, but in experimental group the change is better seen. And for children with disabilities, the same. In this case, the changes are not so spectacular as in the case of questionnaires, but you need to remember that this ability is not so easy to learn. So really children need time to learn theory of mind. And our experiment lasted only 4 months. So if we take it under consideration, we see that the differences are really big. And in summary, first of all, we can see that there are positive changes in both groups, in social skills as well as in theory of mind development, and the changes are much more positive in experimental group. And what is really very good that the changes are especially positive for children with disabilities, and so it means that we can say that our adapted program, Playtime Social Time, is really effective for developing social skills among preschoolers. Thank you very much.